speakers, but Tom specifically asked that he will let you know about himself as he shares his message today. We acknowledge that our land resides on the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan nations and was later farmed and developed through slave labor. We recognize and respect the ongoing connection to this land by generations of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. May our gratitude and fellowship here echo and honor that rich history. And now, if you would join me in reciting our welcoming words and covenant. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness or overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself, or eager to engage with others, all who welcome all are welcome here. And our covenant, we commit to each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Okay, we're still frisky, and we're really happy to be here today. So we're going to start off with a sing-along. Are you guys ready to sing? So I'm going to teach you the chorus. We sort of forgot to put it on the screen, but it's not that hard. It's a Holly Near song called I Am Willing. Let me get a chord here. I am open and I am willing. You ready? I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would be so strange. Would be hopeless, would be so strange. It dishonors those become before us. It dishonors those who come before us. So lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change. Okay, Erica. All right. 1, 2, 3. Sing, everybody. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who come before us. So lift me up to the light of change. There is hurting in my family. There is sorrow in my town. There is panic all across the nation. And there is wailing the whole world round. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who come before us. So lift me up to the light of change. Play it, Erica.
strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty oak to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. For I am open and I am willing. For to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change.
And since our guest speaker today, Tom Gertie, has been volunteering with Habitat for Humanity for over 30 years, I thought I'd share a little bit about the Roanoke chapter. And in Roanoke, it started in 1986 by Olivia and John Lamott and members of their church family at First Presbyterian Church. In those 40 years, and I think this is very impressive, Habitat, of course, they rely on countless volunteers, other church communities, in order to complete their mission. But they have helped to either build or refurbish 300 homes in the Roanoke Valley. So that's very impressive. And the mission for Habitat for Humanity is seeking to put God's love into action by bringing people together to build homes, communities, and hope. The vision is a world where everyone has a safe and affordable place to live. Habitat's mission to me is very much like UUCR's mission to support interdependence in our work in the community. And from the Habitat website, 1 Corinthians, we are laborers together with God. You are God's field, God's building. According to the grace of God given to me, like a skilled master builder, I laid a foundation and someone else is building on it. And from our own singing the living tradition, there are some lines about commitment. People say, what is the sense of our small effort? They cannot see that we must lay one brick at a time, take one step at a time. And we have to keep in mind that a pebble cast into a pond causes ripples that spread in all directions. No one has the right to sit down and feel hopeless. There's too much work to do. And then there's also a quote from Dorothy Day. And back in the 30s and 40s, she was an early social activist and the founder of the Catholic Worker Movement and helped to establish houses of hospitality to shelter and feed the homeless. And now our own Mormon Robertson is going to light the chalice. And Mormon is a good friend of Tom Gertie and connected us with him and kept on me until I contacted him. And we join with Unitarian Universalist churches and congregations across the nation and the world as we light our chalice, the symbol of our faith and the beacon of hope within our living tradition.
you to do, I'm going to ask you to take as many of these as you wish and build a wall in like 20 seconds. Because you work fast in Habitat for Humanity, do you not?
Oh, yes.
You work very
yes.
fast, so the people are waiting for those
20
houses
seconds
to
is
be
too
built.
much time.
So we are going to build them fast.
Now, are they working together? Or
No, they're each building their own wall. We want to see what they individually construct because. Can you hear me okay? I should sit down and use the mic, I guess, shouldn't I? For YouTube. Sorry about that. No, they're individually constructing their own walls. So we're going to see what they come up with. And I'm going to count them down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And done. All right, stand up and show your walls off. Okay. Now, what do each of them have in common?
they're straight?
What?
They're straight.
Well, I can tell you one thing that they have in common. Nobody did this. What's wrong with stacking them like that? Wouldn't that have been faster? We could have had a much higher wall, couldn't we? Oh, you're saying if the wind came along, it would blow this over? Okay, all right. Well, so. Unless you have a basement underneath. Unless you have a strong foundation underneath it, but we don't have that. We just have.
Hey, use the mic.
Sorry. We don't have a strong foundation. So if we stack stuff like this, so tell me about this. If you have a project you're working on that's complicated and hard, do you work on it by yourself? No? You get friends to help you? Yeah, what's your name? Nora. Hi, Nora. And what's your name? Alder. Nice to meet you. Willows. So you get friends? Do you get friends to help you?
Yeah, like projects at school.
Like projects at school, you get friends to help you? Because it works better when we work together, right? Just like a wall holds together better if we interlock them and we don't just try to do it ourselves in one long stack, right?
Yep.
Okay.
One long stack's gonna fall over
It
eventually.
it is, yeah. And sometimes when I try to do stuff I don't know how to do by myself, it falls over eventually. So
Like, if you just pound the table.
yeah, exactly. You can take these back and play with them if you wish while during the service, if you want to build a wall in the back, you are welcome to do that. Okay, thank you.
Thanks to our children and to Kay Brandt for that. It really fits in with the theme today. For the reading today, the interconnectedness principle of our faith calls us to care for others, even when it's difficult for ourselves. We are reminded that there's no easy way for each of us to be on a path. It may get bumpy, but our paths all connect to each other to do what is called of us. Gandhi gave wise counsel when he said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service of others. And in every community, there's work to be done and wounds to heal. And each of us may have some of the power needed to work on it. Part of being in a community is noticing what's needed and doing what is necessary but may be unclaimed. Being part of a community means being willing to own what might not be easy or comfortable. May we be open to being the force of change our communities need, be those changes small or large. And now, Tom Gertie.
Teresa, I get a better welcome than that. Would you introduce me again? I anticipate a much warmer welcome than that.
Okay, y'all, let's show him what UUCR is all about.
Better, better. I was a little sketchy there to start. Good morning. Again, better than that. Good morning. Good morning. We got to remember that faith, as well as life in general, is about enthusiasm, excitement, passion, and compassion. My name's Tom Gertie. I am, as of this past Friday, I am a husband of 50 years. Much easier for me than it was for her. I am the father of 3 great kids, and 3 out of 4 is not too bad. Now, I'm the father of 4 great kids. There's 9 munchkins out there that call me grandpa. I'm a building contractor. I do some speaking. I do some writing. And for over 35 years now, I've spent a lot of hours volunteering with Habitat for Humanity. I like speaking at churches, but I'm really excited to be speaking here because you guys preach that you accept everyone, and then you actually do. What a concept for a church, huh? We accept everyone. There is a problem sometimes when I speak at churches. I often feel like I'm preaching to the choir. Because if you're involved in an active church, you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing while you're here. I spoke to a service organization one time, and I apologized to them for preaching to the choir because they were very active in the community. And after I spoke, a guy came up to me and said, "Tom, don't ever apologize for preaching to the choir." He said, "Even the greatest choir wants to hear a new voice once in a while." So my hope is that this new voice and the message I share with you today will be long enough and profound enough to make your mind soar, yet short enough that your butts won't get sore. Because of my involvement with Habitat for Humanity, I've gotten opportunities to speak around the country at a variety of gatherings. I've spoken to corporate gatherings, I've spoken at fundraisers, nonprofits, Habitat affiliates, state conferences, and quite a few churches. And one thing I found that everywhere I presented this message, the leaders of the organization shared common ground. They understood the significance of enthusiasm, excitement, passion, and compassion. As members of this church, and hopefully leaders in your community, it's imperative that you understand that. It's imperative that you understand how critical those characteristics are. If you aren't enthusiastic, don't expect the people around you to be. If you aren't excited about what you're doing, don't look for excitement in those around you. If you're not passionate, you won't find passion in those around you. I've always loved the phrase, do your homework, but it's passion that sells. And finally, if you're not compassionate, as far as I'm concerned, you've completely missed the boat. While we're here, it's our job to live lives of significance. In recent years, our definition of success has been hijacked. Our definition of success has been hijacked by the dollar. And if that's our definition of success, we are in trouble. True greatness and success must be measured and based on the positive impact we have in the world and in the people around us. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here today to challenge you. I'm here to challenge you to aspire, to inspire before you expire. Now we can subtitle this. Are you in a groove, or is it really just a rut? We're facing a tough stretch in the world right now, in our country, in our communities. Gun violence, wars, natural disasters, housing challenges, water challenges. And all the challenges and stress created by it have caused many of us to spend extra time praying. And praying is important, but it's not the end. Praying is just the beginning. Why? Because now, more than ever before, faith and life in general cannot be spectator sports. Let me say that again. Because now, more than ever before, faith and life in general cannot be spectator sports. I want to share with you some words that were attributed to Mother Teresa, but I'm not 100% sure that's where they came from. But that's not important. The words are, I used to pray that God would feed the hungry or do this or that, but now I pray he will guide me to do whatever I'm supposed to do, what I can do. I used to pray for answers, but now I'm praying for strength. I used to believe that prayer changed things, but now I know that prayer changes us and we change things. Well, then we have to ask ourselves, well, what can I do? To me, it's really simple. If you listen to your heart will tell your hands what to do. And the reality is, the solutions to so many of our problems are just right at the end of our arms. We can pray for direction, but we have to take steps in that direction to move the world forward. Why, you might ask? Because now, more than ever before, faith and life in general cannot be spectator sports. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down here. Now, there's good news in the midst of all this anger, this hatred, this violence. The good news is that love triumphs every single time. But it's up to us to take steps to spread that love. We have to take action. Part of the challenge is the magnitude of some of the things we're facing. We get discouraged, we get disheartened, we get overwhelmed. And sometimes we even just get discouraged and give up. Because what can one person do? Well, I'm here to tell you that compassionate people acting with passion are changing the world in magnificent ways every single day. I want to tell you a couple stories about some people that have changed the world. A couple in a big way, a couple in a small way. First, I want to tell you about a man named George Dawson. And if anybody has Lynchburg connections, it's not the George Dawson who ran the hospital program over there for ages. George Dawson was born in Marshall, Texas in 1898, grandson of slaves. He spent most of his life unable to read and write. At age 98, somebody offered George the opportunity to learn to read and write, and he took to it with a passion. And very quickly, he became functionally literate. Somebody heard about George and wanted to do a book about him and did. It's called Life is So Good. The author of the book asked George, why at age 98 did you decide you wanted to learn to read and write? And George's answer was interesting. He said, I wanted to be able to read my Bible and sign my own name. Well, evidently, George stayed in those reading and writing classes until near his death at 103. Shortly before he died, he was asked, why, after you achieved your basic goal, did you stay in those classes? And George said, I wanted to show the young people that if I could do it at over 100 years old, they could do it. At over 100 years old, George was still moving the world forward. He was still making a difference. You're never too old. You're never too young either. A friend of mine in Richmond, Virginia, had a daughter in the 3rd grade, and the mother has volunteered a lot with me on Habitat projects. The 3rd grade daughter saw how much her mother loved Habitat and wanted to help. Well, you can't send 3rd graders out on a construction site. Although if I think about it, I might have done that to my kids, I'm not sure. But that's neither here nor there now, because the statute of limitations has run out on that. But this daughter decided she wanted to help. 3rd grader now. They made the old potholder. How many of us have made the potholder at camp or school or somewhere or helped our kids? Well, they made a couple hundred of them, and they sold them. And they raised enough money to buy a front door for a Habitat house in Richmond. You're never too old, and you're never too young. Now, the other people I want to tell you about are a young couple who are millionaires. But unfortunately, their lives were crumbling around them. Their family was in trouble. Their marriage was in trouble. They sat down and talked about it and realized that there was nothing significant about their lives. It was all based on the dollar. They decided the only way they could correct that was to get a new start. And to do that, they were going to give away their millions. And they decided to tell their friends that, and their friends thought they were crazy. Some of them actually laughed at them. But they're not laughing anymore because that couple was Millard and Linda Fuller, the founders of Habitat for Humanity. And because they acted on that dream, over 65 million people worldwide have better, safer, drier, affordable housing. Now, the Habitat affiliate in Lynchburg started in 1988. First house was built in 1989. I was asked to serve on the board, but I'm not a good board person. It just doesn't work for me. But I said, I love this concept, and I will be there the day the hammers start flying. And true to my word, I helped frame the very first house built in Lynchburg, Virginia by Habitat in 1989. And I knew day one I was where I was supposed to be. I knew it was part of God's plan for me. And I will forever be grateful to the people who gave me the invitation to help move the world forward. It was a gift. It was one of the best gifts I've ever had in my life. It changed my life. And the Habitat affiliate in Lynchburg took off like a rocket. Strong community and good leadership. And we were very quickly recognized around the country as one of the most active affiliates. Because of that, a lot of people came to Lynchburg and volunteered and wanted to figure out what this little bird was doing to help so many people build and buy their home. Well, before you know it, so many people had come to Lynchburg, a few of us decided we had to go out and help some other communities and pay it forward. And we did. A few of us went and had a great time, went to Georgia and helped the community build a Habitat house. And we liked it so much, we decided we're going to do it once a year. Well, pretty soon once a year wasn't enough, and then twice a year wasn't enough. And by the time COVID hit, 3 or 4 times a year, we were looking for a small community to go into and help stir up some excitement by doing an accelerated build or a blitz build. A writer in Lynchburg, a newspaper columnist, heard about us. And he decided he wanted to travel with us and do a story about us. And he did. And in his story, he wrote, "These people are a little bit crazy, but they know how to have fun helping people build and buy their home." Well, the crazy part stuck, and we became affectionately known as the Habitat Road Trip Crazies. Peace, love, and hammers. And on the back of our shirt, it says, trying to give more than we receive and failing miserably. Well, this writer went on to finish his story, and he wrote, "Hard to describe these people, but the best I can do is Mother Teresa meets Jimmy Buffett." I'll take that any day of the week. Habitat's given me some wonderful memories and moments, and I want to tell you about a couple that will stick with me till the day I die. The first one was what I like to refer to as my moment of Zen. That moment when I knew it was what I was supposed to be doing. A Jewish friend of mine called, said, "Tom, our synagogue wants to build a Habitat house." I said, "That's great. Habitat's a Christian organization, but we're about making sure people have safe, dry, affordable housing." He said, "The problem is a lot of the volunteer work is done on Saturdays, and our people won't work on Saturdays, our Sabbath." He said, "We need help framing up the house on a Sunday." I said, "I'm in." And I pray better with a hammer in my hand sometimes than I do sitting in a pew with my ADD. And after all, the founder of Habitat, Millard, always referred to it as the theology of the hammer. Well, it happened to be Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday, we framed the house up. End of the day, black paper on the roof, and I'm up on top of the roof, back when I was young enough to do that, on top of the roof, and it hit me. Now, follow me here. I'm a retired Catholic. I now attend a United Methodist Church. I'm volunteering with a Christian organization on a home sponsored by a Jewish synagogue, and the home buyer is a Black Baptist family. And at that moment, I thought, no matter what your vision of the Supreme Being is, that is what he or she had in mind. Well, I've told that story all over the country. Well received, except one time. One time I spoke, and a guy came up to me afterwards, told that story, came up to me and said, "I need to talk to you." Of course, I'm used to hearing that because I'm always in trouble for something. And this guy said, "You're volunteering with a Christian organization. You cannot say the Supreme Being could be a she." After I caught my breath, I said, That's what you got out of that story. That's what you got out of it? I said, did you miss that part where people came together based on nothing but love and moved the world forward as one? It was still a great moment for me. But the other moment was when we did a build in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Now we have a ceremony with the crazies. At the end of our builds, we ask all the volunteers and the family to sign the back of a shutter. And then we have the family install it. It's symbolic of the fact that no matter what they face in that house, there's another 75 or 100 people who are there with them to help pull them through. Well, we did this ceremony. It was a mother, father, 4 little stair-step kids on the front porch. They installed the shutter, and the mother turned around and looked out to what would soon be her front yard, where there were still probably 75 volunteers. And she said, I now know what the face of God looks like. I see it in every one of you. Now, that happened 15 years ago, and if you were close enough, you could see I still get chills. But that's what we're supposed to do out here, no matter what your belief of the Supreme Being is. That's what he or she had in mind. We are supposed to be the face and hands of God. Now, I'm not here to ask you to give up your worldly belongings to end substandard housing in the world. But what I am asking you to do is look for the millions of ways every single day you can make the world a kinder and gentler place. Sometimes it's really simple, just by adding smiles to the world. And it can be on a small scale. Tomorrow morning, when you pick up your cup of coffee at 7-Eleven on the way into work or on the way out somewhere, buy a cup for the person ahead of you or behind you in line. Not only will that person smile, you'll end up smiling. Cashier will probably smile too. If you've had a really good week, do it at Starbucks. I have to stick at 7-Eleven, but when you're out to lunch one day, ask the server to bring you the check for somebody and pay for it anonymously in the restaurant. Not only will the server smile because they get to tell somebody that their tab's been covered, the person whose tab gets picked up will smile. You'll probably smile knowing that you created those smiles. And who knows, that person might go back to work or home and tell another 2 or 3 people and they'll smile. It's like the ultimate pyramid scheme involving smiles. And we ain't got nothing on that. We do something in my office. Some people think it's silly. We have a few signs around, and they're just there to add smiles to the world. And even though people think they're silly, it's my office, so they stay up. Bless you. First, this sign says it all. It all. Silly? Yeah, it's silly. But I heard a few laughs. Saw a few smiles. Private sign, do not read. Mormon, what are you doing reading the sign? It says do not read. Silly. Yeah, it's silly. Reward, lost $50. If found, just keep it. Sometimes that takes a little longer for people to get, but it's silly. It sure is. But the collective blood pressure in this room just dropped a little bit because everybody smiled. Some people laughed. You laughed a little too much. I'm going to keep an eye on you. My favorite might be the one that is on the door going into my office. Been there for 6 or 8 years, and every once in a while I'll catch somebody come through the door, stop in their tracks, back up, and go out and reread the sign. And the sign says, dry paint. And they'll say, it says dry paint, doesn't it? And I'll say, yes, and it has said that for the last 3 years you've been coming to my office. Anyway, just to add smiles to the world. Pretty dumb, huh? I tell a story every time I speak, just because it almost always adds a bunch of smiles to the world. I was asked to help with a project in Los Angeles called Hollywood for Habitat, It was a 20-house build, week long. I was in charge of one house. It was to get the entertainment industry involved in Habitat, not as a photo op, but to actually learn about what Habitat's doing and how the world's kinder and gentler because of Habitat. Well, a couple days, and I realized I had no pictures of the site. So at the end of the workday, I ran to my rental car, got my camera, was going around and taking some pictures, and I came upon Robin Williams doing an interview. He had worked a couple houses over from me that day, and poor girl trying to interview him didn't get him close to answering any of the questions, but it was fun to watch. Well, finished the interview. He was signing autographs, taking pictures with people. I couldn't resist. I ran over to a nail box, ripped off a piece of cardboard, and as he worked the crowd, he got to me. And I said, "How about an autograph?" He said, "Sure." I said, "Who should I make this out to?" And for 2 seconds, Robin Williams froze. And I was like Leonardo DiCaprio on the front of the Titanic. I was king of the world for those 2 seconds, one of the fastest minds out there. And I stopped him for 2 seconds. Well, he caught himself and he looked up at me and said, "Clarence." I wrote to Clarence, "Love, Tom." I handed it to him and walked away. And when I walked away, he turned to the crowd and yelled, "I got Tom's autograph." Couldn't have scripted it, but I tell it every time I speak because I think it's important, the number of smiles it adds to the world. Okay, back to work. We've talked about prayer, we've talked about action, but this is a trilogy. And the third piece of this trilogy might be the most important, and quite possibly the most often forgotten. We have to invite others in to help us move the world forward. It can't be about me or you or you or you, because alone we're limited. We can't do a whole lot alone, but together we can do anything. We can move the world. And no matter what your passion is, there's people out there hungry to help, and they often just need that invitation. How often does somebody get an invite and then suddenly it lights up their eyes and they carry on with whatever passion that is? They're hungry for it. I want to give you a couple examples of how hungry people are. We did a build with the Crazies in Alta Vista, Virginia a few years ago. The guy in charge was trying to find somebody to sponsor the lunch of the big framing day. Well, he went to a pretty successful businessman in town and asked him if he could sponsor the lunch, told him what was going on, and the guy said, "Well, what are we talking here?" He said, "Can you write a check for $500? He said, "Can I do more?" How often do you hear that? He wrote a check for $5,000 because somebody asked him. Somebody gave him the opportunity to make a difference in the world, and he was happy to do it. Now, his story got a little more interesting after he wrote the check for $5,000. He said, "I'm one of those Habitat kids." Habitat works. The other example about how hungry people are, we did a build on the Eastern Shore in Exmoor. And if you've been there, you know it's sparsely populated, acres and acres of farmland. And we went down months in advance, talked to the affiliate, told them how we could stir up some excitement by building most of the house over a weekend. And they were excited. They were all pumped up. They said, "Okay, now you'll have to get the foundation in, then you'll have to get all the materials there, get everything ready for us. And the other thing you have to do is you have to find 75 volunteers." Well, that was a deal breaker. They said, "There's no way. If we can get 5 or 6 people out on a Saturday, we're excited." Well, we told them how to market it, where to go in the community to stir the pot a little bit, how to do their press releases. The first day of that event, 125 people showed up in a community where they said they could only get 5 or 6. They're hungry for it. Second day of that event, 85 more people showed up. They're hungry for it, but it's up to us to give them that invitation. Now, we're at the point where we have to ask ourselves a few questions about our church and our personal lives. Are you on the right track? Are you on the right track? And then we can go back to that subtitle of this whole morning. Are you in a groove, or is it really just a rut? If you in your church are not finding ways every single day to make the world kinder and gentler, you may not be on the right track. If your personal life is based on the dollar, I'm pretty sure you're not on the right track. And as we all know, if you're not on the right track, no matter how fast you travel, you're never getting to your destination. And furthermore, if you're on the wrong track and you stand still, you'll get run over. So maybe we have to ask ourselves, is this a groove or is it a rut? Bear with me, I'm almost done. When I speak to groups, I often ask if they know where the richest place in the world is. And people will say Monaco or Dubai or Switzerland. They're always shocked when I say, no, the richest place in the world is the graveyard. Because people take their ideas, their dreams, and their inventions with them to the grave, instead of acting on them while they're here to make the world a better place or somebody's life better. What would have happened if Millard and Linda Fuller didn't act on their dream? It's quite possible that over 65 million people worldwide in 70 countries would not have better, safer, drier, affordable housing. They were inspired by a South Georgia farmer named Clarence Jordan. Clarence spent most of his life feeding the hungry and housing the homeless. He was once quoted as saying, "We should seek to live our lives so that others will not merely hear what we are saying, but they will see what we are doing, be inspired by it, and decide to do likewise." So what I'm asking you today, listen to your heart. Your heart will tell your hands what to do. Look for ways every single day to make the world kinder and gentler. Give somebody that gift of that invitation. It changed my life and it might change theirs. Act on that idea or that dream that can make somebody's life or the world a better place. And simple, add some smiles to the world every single day. Do you know that if you help one person a day for 40 years of your life smile, that's 14,600 smiles you've added to the world? Is the world better because of that? It sure is. So I'm asking you to do those things, and now, with enthusiasm, excitement, passion, and compassion, I'm asking you to aspire to inspire before you expire. Can I get a loud and enthusiastic Unitarian amen?
Why shouldn't we? We believe in things that we cannot see. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Hands that heal can set a chained man free. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we?
We believe in peace within every heart. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? building brightly in the dark. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we?
Come on,
Darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, food is at the gate. Allah hears your prayers, it's not too late. We believe in things that will give us hope. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Let your voice be heard, celebrate your home. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we?
So come on,
Darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, food is at the gate. Allah hears your prayers, it's not too late.
we believe in things that make us all the same.
Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we?
Love belongs to all, indeed a name.
Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? We believe in things that can't be done. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Lift up your heart, put down your gun. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we?
We believe in things we're told we cannot change.
Why shouldn't we?
We had heroes once and we will again.
Why shouldn't we?
So
Come on, darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, food is at the gate. Allah hears your prayers, it's not too late.
why shouldn't we?
Why shouldn't we?
Why shouldn't we?
Why shouldn't we?
And now we come to that time in our service each week where we invite you into generosity. The work of our church community is only possible with your generous contributions to our ongoing work to keep love at the center of all we do.
No, it's not this one. Wrong slide. Okay, lots of crunchy words here. We'll try to articulate. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I hear the crying of the hungry in the desert where they're wandering. Hear them crying out for heaven's own benevolence upon them. Hear destructive power prevailing. I hear fools falsely hailing to the crooked wicks of tyrants when they call. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all.
I hear the sound of tearing pages and the roar of burning paper. All the crimes and acquisitions turn to air and ash and vapor. And the rattle of the shackle far beyond emancipation.
leaders and the lowliest to gather in their song. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all.
So while you sit and whistle Dixie with your money and your power, I can hear the flowers growing in the rubble of the tower.
I hear ladies quit their lying, I hear babies quit their crying, I hear soldiers quit their dying, one and all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear the tender words from Zion, I hear Noah's waterfall. See the gentle Lamb of Judah sleeping at the feet of Buddha, and the prophets from Elijah to the old Paiute Rapoka take their places at the table one and all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all.
Thank you for your generosity to enable our work in the community.
I'm Jane Harrison from the Caring Committee, and you hear this every Sunday, but if you have a joy or concern you want to share with the congregation and have it announced Sunday morning, you can notify the church office, you can let somebody from the Caring Committee know, or you can write it in the Lifelines book, which is on Sunday mornings. We presently don't have anything to share this morning from the Caring Committee. However, if you have a joy or concern that's in your heart, and please come and light a candle using both sides of the altar. Thank you. You want to use
May I suggest to you,
May I suggest this is the best part of your life.
may I suggest this time is blessed for you.
This time is blessed and shining almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the thousand reasons that were just beyond your sight.
The reasons why I suggest to you,
Why I suggest this is the best part of your life.
there is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams and vast worlds.
A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night.
Oh, I suggest, yes, I suggest to you,
Yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you understand, inside you know what's yours to finally set right.
And I suggest to you,
And I suggest this is the best part of your life.
this is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. This is a song with a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run.
And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, oh, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. May I suggest this is the best part of your life.
Just to follow what our beloved Rev Jen does, we're going to light a candle for those who are joining us at home. Maybe so, maybe not. And thank Jane and the Caring Committee for their dedicated work. And now we're going to have the announcements from Jean Larson.
Lift me up to the light of change. So now, as we draw close to the end of our time together in worship this week, we turn our attention from the joys and concerns within our own hearts to the work of the week ahead. We'll begin with a few announcements. We are truly excited that our new Director of Religious Education starts on August 3rd, right? Yeah. To prepare, Claire Lambert, there's Claire over by the stage in blue, is collecting a list of people interested in volunteering with the program in any capacity. So check in with her. Other good news, we are now able to have background checks completed electronically, and that ensures that the required information submitted by each volunteer applicant can remain completely confidential. So our forms for volunteer applications and authorizations to request the background check had to be changed to reflect this updated and more secure process. That means if you're one of the individuals who have already worked with Claire Lambert, please stop by to see her during our fellowship time after today's service and check to see if any paperwork needs attention. We're very appreciative of the strong response from our congregation for volunteers to assist in our nursery. That was great. And now, as we began our service today, we close by joining Unitarian Universalist congregations across the nation and the world in extinguishing the chalice here in our sanctuary, knowing the flame of our faith is carried within our hearts and into the week ahead.
And we want to express our appreciation for everyone who makes our service possible each week. And I'm looking directly at the coffee team. We appreciate their work every week so that we can enjoy fellowship together. And today, our wonderful musicians, I simply gave them the title of Tom's message this morning, and they came up with beautiful music for us. So we've been very blessed. And I think another round of applause for Tom Gertie. It was a wonderful message. Now, is that enthusiastic enough for you?
Get there.
Okay. We are grateful and blessed that we can share this time together each week. And we go forth in the spirit of love, which is the center of our faith and our work until we meet again.
Let's be enthusiastic and stand up.
And sing the chorus with us.
Sing this chorus with us.
We're starting with the chorus.
Yeah, it's easy. 1, 2, 3. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, looking for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. Sometimes our living gets so dark and lonesome, it seems like there's nothing we can do. So we reach out to each other
and raise a song together and let our voices carry us through.
Let's go.
We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come.
And when the war clouds gather, it's easy to get angry and just as hard not to be afraid.
But you know in your own heart, no matter what happens, you just can't turn your back and walk away.
So hand in hand together, we'll help each other carry the light of peace within us every day.
If we can learn to live it, to walk it, talk it, give it, the world of peace won't be far away. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. Working for the good